A very good evening from the sports desk. The Bulls produced a very strong performance to record a 62-7 crushing of Leinster in a United Rugby Championship match at Loftus Stadium. The Bulls' victory in Pretoria ended Leinster's unbeaten run in the competition. Coming into the match, the Irish visitors had not lost a single match this season, with the only draw the setback amongst their perfect campaign. The Bulls were the last team to beat Leinster when they defeated the Irish Giants in last season's semi-finals, and leading 31-0 at halftime today. The hosts dominated their opponents for a 9-try 62-7 victory in Pretoria. Fly half Johan Goosen scored 17 points, and with Kurt Lee, Arendse and Kenan Moody each scoring a brace of tries as the Bulls close out their league phase of the competition in outstanding fashion. Right, and now joining us to reflect on the match is sport journalist Lehlohonolo Ditshego. Lehlohonolo, thank you very much for coming through to talk to us. I mean, just looking at the Bulls' performance, was this expected, considering that Leinster were unbeaten so far in the season?
Good evening, and good evening to your viewers. Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, the results we saw today were not the anticipated results, looking how Leinster performed this season, but also for Bulls, it showed which side was the hungriest, and that was the Vodacom Bulls. They were on a streak to say, are we finishing 7th, 6th, or are we going all the way up, collecting the points to finish 5th, so it can put them in a position where they play either the third or second, fourth or third team that finishes, the team that finishes third or fourth on the log in the overall standings. So Jake White's charges did their task very well today, executed it very well. Kenan Moody and Arendse continues to be a deadly combination.
Did Leinster roll over and play dead?
For Leinster, they had nothing to lose. They are number one on the log, but also they wanted to play for pride, to say we haven't lost any round robin match, or our winning streak is the longest in the competition. But Bulls were a better side today. Leinster, first half, they were out of shape. Second half, they totally lost it. So it wasn't, they didn't give it all away, just that they were not the Leinster that usually plays hard rugby, fast-paced, and also great mauling in front, good forward pack. They lost a lot of battles in the forwards today, so it wasn't the Leicester that we're used to.
So with that said, I mean, should we read much into the performance of the Bulls? Well, I guess Jake White will take the positives out of this, but should we read much into this emphatic win by the Bulls?
For Bulls, it's a side that really started bad in this competition. They went through a lot, with also Jake being ill at some point in the season. But this is not one of the performances that you would say it was the top-notch rugby or something like that. They found a side that was wandering and didn't have any direction, and they capitalized on that. They converted their chances. For them, the positive side is that when you look at the games that they've lost this season, it was close games that you watched it and say they could have won this one. So today they improved on their execution in terms of their gameplay, and also their game against Zebra last week. It was the same story. Zebra is not as good as Leinster, but it could have been more points than the score was last week. So for them, they just improved on articulating their game plan very well and also executing every chance they make.
The win for the Bulls comes at a very crucial point in the tournament. I mean, going forward, what can they take from this win going further into the campaign?
Yeah, going forward, there's no more room for error. They made less errors today, So the positive side is that they made less errors today, and they capitalized on every Leinster error. So going forward, they will play either the team that finished fourth, third, or second, depending on how the game ends with Sharks and Munster there. So I think what would work for them is to perfectly execute this type of game plan. And also for Jake's White, the lads are motivated because such confidence in a team that played Zebra last week and not changing it today with Marcel Coetzee back, and also trusting Ruan Norke today again with the captaincy. It will motivate the boys. Matanzima also in the mix, and the combination of Stetman Guns at 13, also with Moody at 14, it played out very well for them today. So for them going forward, it will be how they articulate themselves, because that's what almost cost them and last 8 finish this season. They played a lot of games where you looked at them, it's not the same Bulls side. There was no hunger or anything like that compared to how they played last season. But they're still not one of the best sides this season. But going into the knockout stages, they will know that there's no more room for error, and they will take this performance with them.
Can this win motivate them to go all the way? Do they have what it takes to go all the way?
They have what it takes to go all the way. They finished as runners-up last season, and yeah, losing 8 games in the round robin stages, you look at that team and say, but last season they did it better than this season. But they have a pool of talented and world-class rugby players. If they fix their problems at 10 with Hussein there, I think they will be a team to beat going to the knockout stages, which he collected a handful of points today. Improvement from him. They won the game massively. But going all the way, maybe they might finish just in the semis and not defend. I don't see them beating Ulster and repeating what they did with Leinster today, and also beating the Stormers.
So with that said, I mean, 3 of South Africa's franchises are in the last 8. That sort of improves the odds of it staying here in South Africa. What are the chances? I mean, who would be the favorites? You just said the Bulls, not maybe the 2 other sides?
The Stormers, yes. The Sharks, they don't bite as Sharks. So the Stormers will definitely, it's one of the favorite sides to do it and defend their title. Dobo has been a great coach there, and it's a phenomenal side. Things will be a lot harder for them, because also the Europeans want it to visit that side as well. But the last hope for South African teams in this URC is Stormers. Regardless of having 3 teams, the Sharks, they are currently struggling now, playing Munster. A lot of errors there. Yeah, the teeth aren't just sharp enough, but they have great squad.
And just finally then, Lehlohonolo, I mean, is Jake White, based on what we're seeing, a strong candidate to return to the Springboks?
One of the candidates, his CV agrees. I mean, he won the World Cup with the Springboks in 2007, but wasn't able to keep that kind of confidence in the box through to the next World Cup, which was 2011, which saw him departing the squad. But he can return. I don't think he would really work well with Erasmus. Maybe Dobson would be a better candidate than Jake White. But yeah, he is part of the candidates that could really go on for the Springbok role.
We're going to have to be there, but thank you so much for coming through to talk to us. That was sport journalist Lehlohonolo Ditshego just reflecting on that win for the Bulls.